Good evening, guys and gals. I know a couple of you guys, some of you got a lot of guys don't know me. Steve Adams is my name. Gary Hess and I go way, way, way back. I used to work with him at WRVA and Sports Radio 910 for like 15 years. And when I moved to Blacksburg about 10 years ago, I got involved in doing high school radio, doing some play-by-play out there, a couple years for Pulaski County, a couple years for Blacksburg, and then a couple years for Christiansburg. When I moved back, I had the opportunity to jump in with Gary and Gary on the Thursday night show, and then so I've been doing that the last couple of years, and then this year Gary decided to apparently go on the DL. So had a couple of accidents, but I think he's doing a lot better. Chris, he's doing pretty good, right? He is in rehab. Not that kind of rehab, the other rehab. Yeah, he can. So anyway, he might be joining us soon back on radio, but he can't do obviously high school stairs, which there's no elevators in these press boxes, right? So anyway, he asked me to fill in for him, so I've been doing the play-by-play for the last month and a half with Gary, really enjoying that. So I hated that for Gary, but I've had a great time doing it. So Danny called me a couple weeks ago and asked me to fill in. So if I screw this thing up tonight, it's Danny's fault. So, but anyway, let's start it out. And then as soon as each coach comes up here, I'm sending them to you guys, right? All right, very good. Well, let's start out with Region 6A, and I want to bring up the head coach of the Thomasdale Knights. That would be Coach Kevin Tucker. Come on up, Kevin. First of all, congratulations on a great season, 9-1. Just give me a quick opening comment on these last 10 games and hopefully the next 5 you're getting ready to play.
At Thomasdale, we've been blessed to be a regular participant in the playoffs. And this year, we knew our defense was going to be really strong. And I think they've kind of carried us and led us through this season. It's probably the fastest, most aggressive defense I've had in my 16 years as being the head coach, led by guys like Cole Lineberger and Mike Davis and Javaris Tucker. And, they just, like I said, our front four is extremely athletic and they're fast and they get to the ball. So, like I said, I think that's the statement of Thomasdale this year's defense.
You mentioned the defense. 8 of the 10 games, you held your opponent to single digits. I mean, that is strong. I mean, that defense they're flying around the football. Gary and I did the Meadowbrook game. As you remember, that was a wild one, right? But you mentioned Cole Lineberger. For those of you who hadn't seen this kid play, what does he come off the field about 4 seconds a game, something like that?
I think the only thing we don't have him on right now is kickoff.
Yeah.
Try to convince me today to let him kick off. I told him no.
Well, just talk about Cole Lineberger and what he's meant to the program these last 4 years.
Cole's actually a 5-year player for us. He played as an 8th grader. His older brother played for us. So Cole getting a chance to start shining. I remember as an 8th grader, I forget who we were playing now. I think it was Hopewell actually. And I think we were down 3 touchdowns. We've actually put Cole at quarterback and he led us to a comeback. And it showed me his moxie, his willingness to do whatever it took to win the game.
Right.
And then of course, for the last 3 years on varsity, man, he's been a dominant force on the D line. Offensively, he can line up at tight end, H-back, tailback, quarterback, whatever you need him to. He can kind of do it all.
And then you've had some sophomores step up this year on the offensive side. Your quarterback is Wyatt Jessup, right? He's a sophomore. Just talk about him. I know he's had 15 touchdown passes this year, which is really strong for a 10th grader.
Yeah, Wyatt's I think he's more mature than his years show. This year has been a good learning curve for him. He's had some games where against Dinwiddie he had 3 turnovers, but he still jumps back in that pocket and he's ready to throw the ball. Like he doesn't get down on himself. He's a great teammate. His kid, the guys rally around him, and like I said, you got to love his confidence. We sometimes call him a gunslinger, and you guys say, "Oh, slow down just a little bit, bud."
And then you've got 2 seniors back there running the football for you, Jaden Hyatt and you got NJ Hines back this year. That's been obviously a huge success for you guys to run the football.
Yeah, I think with NJ and Jaden, he's kind of got like a little 2-headed monster, a little thunder and lightning. But you got to give credit to the 2 receivers too, Micah and Danny. Danny had a hell of a game last week. He returned a kickoff for a touchdown, 5 catches for 110 yards. So, like I said, Danny's kind of come into his own now, and it's making Wyatt's job a little bit easier.
And you have a bye this week. So congratulations for that. You guys play the winner of Manchester Lansdowne a week from now. And um, any thoughts on opening? Obviously, you don't have a winner yet, but any opening thoughts on who you'd like to see maybe?
Well, I feel like it's
Is Jason in
destiny.
here?
I think it's destiny. Jason and I were just talking about
Yeah.
Thomasdale and Manchester are going to play in the second round of the playoffs every year. So like I said, we're kind of expecting to see Manchester next week. And bias can be a blessing, but it can also be a curse. Complacency is what we've kind of told our kids. We can't get complacent.
Right.
Got to challenge each other. And we had a great day of practice today. So hopefully we'll get a little bit better again tomorrow.
Awesome. We'll give it up for the head coach of the Thomasdale Knights, Kevin Tucker. Let's bring it. This Coach Harrell's here, right? All right, come on up. The head coach of the Manchester Lancers, 9-1, Jason Harrell. There you go, Coach. How you doing?
Doing well.
Very good. Well, not to back up, but 9-1 regular season. You won your first 9. Gary and I were there last Friday night. I know it was a tough loss, but you're certainly proud of your 9-1 Lancers, what you guys have done so far this season. Just opening comment there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I said, that was a game that we kind of tripped up on. Again,
Right.
We won't try to use that as the defining loss of the season. So again, we're going to kind of regroup, get ourselves together, make sure that we are ready for the playoffs.
Talk about Landon Abernathy. I mean, great kid, right? I mean, 32 touchdown passes. He's had some great guys to throw it to, but just talk about his development these last couple of years as your quarterback at Manchester and what he's meant to the Lancers.
So again, he's been there for 4 years since he moved from Texas. And it's kind of been evolving for him. We had a few different offenses while he's been there. I think now he's kind of really settled in. He's always been a kid that just loved football. And I remember when I was the defensive coordinator, I mean, he was always asking me questions about how would I stop this? So it's like playing chess with him. He'll say, well, what if I did this? And then you go back and forth. But again, like I said, he is a leader on the field, commander of the offense, and he does a great job of kind of relaying information that he sees throughout the night.
He's had a really couple of good receivers to throw to, and Justin Fabian and Antonio Turner Jr. A couple great receivers there.
Yeah, so those guys are like lightning in a bottle. Like if you get them the ball, like I said, they'll definitely make something happen. Again, we try to spread it out as much as we can. But again, like I said, getting to those guys because they're both two dynamic players.
Talk about a couple of players on defense that have stepped up for you this year and been a big part of your success.
Definitely Jaden Ballard has stepped up. And then quietly a surprise that we have is Tristan Bowers, number 6. He plays corner. He's racked up a few interceptions. And he's quietly been doing well throughout the whole season. Like because you have Antonio Turner on the other side, so people tend not to throw at him. But Tristan's been kind of holding his own out there.
So in Region 6A, Manchester's the 3 seed. You guys take on Lansdowne out of the Beach District. What do you know about the Eagles so far, and what do you expect Friday night?
Well, I'm from the Beach.
There you go.
The funniest thing is that I grew up and went to Salem. Lansdowne was built after I graduated, but the coach from Lansdowne is who I actually learned how to coach from.
Okay.
Like that's my coaching career started with Robert Jackson. So it's kind of one of those things, the student plays the teacher coming up this Friday. Him has a long history. Like I said, I've known him since 2006. So again, we had a long conversation this Saturday talking to each other, kind of comparing notes and things of that nature. So it's going to be fun. Again, I haven't seen him in a while. So again, but I do know kind of how he runs things with his teams anyway, because I've been coaching for him for 6 years.
Right.
I know what he expects out of his kids, and they're going to be tough and be ready to play.
Well, best of luck. We want to see that matchup next week between you and Coach Tucker.
All right.
Looking forward. The head coach of the Manchester Lancers, Jason Harrell. All right, we'll stay in Region 6A and bring up. We've got Andrew Bowen. Is Andrew here? All right, Matt Bland is the head coach at LC Bird. Andrew Bowen is the assistant head coach. So give it up for Andrew Bowen coming up for LC Bird. Well, Coach, just quick opening comment on the season. I know it's kind of been an interesting season. Started out 0-2, won a couple of games, lost a couple of games, and then finished strong. So talk about the season.
It's been a year of trial for us.
Yeah.
A year of youth that kids have had to grow up faster than they probably wanted to. We've had to get kids in there and develop them really trial by fire. but they've handled it well. Like you said, we started off 0-2,
Right.
and we had a fork in the road where we had to tell ourselves, do we want to go 0-3 and kind of ride this thing out and just feel sorry for ourselves, or do we want to find a way to develop and get better and figure this thing out? And the kids have taken the latter, and to go 0-2 and to finish 6-4 is by no stretch a great year, for anybody. But I'm proud of the fact that the kids kept competing.
Right.
They didn't give up at 0-2, and now we're in the playoffs.
Talk about your running back, Tyrell Allen, right? Just talk about him.
Trey.
Trey Allen. Talk about Trey. I know he's had a big year for you guys. Talk about his development and how he's helped you to get to that 6-4 record.
Trey's been a workhorse for us. We've kind of had a backfield by committee with him taking the majority of the reps. And if there's anything you know about Bird offense, is that they like to run the ball. So he's answered the call for us. He continues to be coachable. Just has to keep tweaking the little things that he's doing and keep getting better. But he's done everything that we've asked him to do and then some.
On the defensive side, give me a couple of guys that have stepped up big for you this year. I guess the linebacker West is
Marcus West.
Yeah, Marcus West is a big part of that defense.
He is. Marcus West is a 3-year starter, a guy that really plays sideline to sideline for us. He's been huge for us. Just having the senior leadership, him having that experience to guide a group around him that is relatively young. He's done a phenomenal job with just leading those guys and helping those guys develop and bring those guys along. And then obviously he himself, he does a great job. He's a commander of the defense. He's able to read the offense and put guys in position to make plays.
So you guys are the 4 seed. You play the 5 seed, Western Branch Bruins. Again, a team from down the Southeastern District. What do you know about the Bruins so far? I know they got beat by Oscar Smith last week. A lot of people get beat by Oscar Smith, but they've also won. I think they won 3 in a row before the Oscar Smith game. So talk about Western Branch.
So they actually played Oscar Smith really tough for the first quarter. Really, really tough running team. We're going to be very battle tested. Their identity is our identity. They want to run the ball. They don't hide it. They're a running team, so it's going to be a matter of who's more physical. So we've got to be able to punch them in the mouth and then keep punching them, and be able to take punches while we're doing it. So we've got a work cut out for us. Even at 6-4, they're a heck of a ball team.
Well, Coach, listen, thanks for the time again. Andrew Bowen with LC Bird, give it up for him. Thank you. Cheers. Good luck. All right. Lift it up. Okay. All right, we're going to switch now to Region 5C, and it is loaded with 804 teams. Phil Gross in the house? All right, Coach, come on up. The head coach of the Midlothian Trojans, Phil Gross.
Good. How's it going?
Good. Similar to LC Bird, you've had an interesting year. You started off with 4 quick wins. Had a little bit of of course, you played a couple of really good teams in the middle of the season. You won your last 4. Mm-hmm. So 4 wins with a little bit of hiccup. Talk about your season to date and where the Trojans are.
Sure. Yeah. Real proud of the guys, if I'm honest with you. Most people don't know that we're extremely junior laden this year.
Right.
We're only going to lose about 5 starters off of this year's squad. So next year we'll be senior heavy, but that took some growing up in the middle, as you know.
Yep.
We had a rough go against Huguenot and Manchester back to back. After
a lot of people do that.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is sometimes. But I felt like the response was good from the kids thereafter. Running the last 4 straight. I mean, I can't ask for more. We've improved each year since I took over. And so being at 8-2 and having a shot at another playoff game, we're extremely happy about that.
Yeah, Parlors too. Parlors opening seat. You beat LC Bird and you beat Freeman, a couple of good playoff teams. So you really had a strong start. I want you to talk about. I mean, I know it's a special deal with your son Gibson playing quarterback for you guys, but just talk about that and his development as your son on the football team, but as a leader on the football team.
Sure. Yeah. This is actually his 3rd year with Midlow. And so, it's interesting. We have some interesting talks in the truck on the way home, as you can imagine.
Right.
Sometimes you have to sort of sometimes say, okay, this is a dad conversation and this is a coach conversation. So we've had some of both. And so, this year I think it's been interesting. Last year he had a lot of veterans around him, especially in the skill positions. And this year we're breaking in a lot of new guys. And so there was a growth process there for him. And I think it took some time to catch a rhythm. I'm grateful these last 4 games. We sort of seem to finally got our footing offensively.
Right.
Our defense has been great most of the year. Out of the 8 wins, I think we've given up 20 points total.
Right.
So John Fout does an amazing job with that.
Talk about your senior running back, DK Chapman. He's special too.
Yeah, we're excited about him. He's got 2 offers currently.
Okay.
He holds one from Ferrum and one from Emory and Henry. Matter of fact, what I love about him most is he's a good character kid. Like, this young man's getting awards in the school for just doing the right thing all the time. And then you add to that, he's a good little back. He runs hard. He's physical. He gives you everything you want in the weight room, and he's an exceptional leader. So DK is an amazing young man. I'm real proud of him.
So you are the 4 seed. That means you play the 5 seed. Very familiar with the 5 seed, the Hermitage Panthers. Talk about what the challenges that the Panthers bring over to Charter Colony Parkway Friday night.
Sure, I know Coach P is going to have those guys ready, and they're extremely athletic. I was just talking with one of the other coaches a few minutes ago. I think they've scored of the games that we have. I think we have about 9 of them now. Special teams have scored on every game.
Right.
And so they can be very explosive. And so we've got to limit their ability to have explosive plays because they've got great athletes all over the field. So, our defense is going to have to play exceptional. Fortunately, I feel like we have a pretty good defense. We're healthy, and I think that sort of plays into our wheelhouse. So I'm hoping that with a healthy defense, we can slow them down and our offense can get going, and, we can have a great game and compete.
All right. The head coach of the Midlothian Trojans, Phil Gross. Give it up. Thank you, Coach. Is Coach Jean-Pierre here? Did he not? All right. No Hermitage. All right. Very good. Well, obviously, they're taking on the Hermitage Panthers Friday night. Staying in Region 5C, the Douglas Freeman Mavericks and head coach Kevin Simons. Coach, I know you're here. Come on up. The head coach of the Douglas Freeman Mavericks, Kevin Simons. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm just glad I didn't say Rebels, which I do quite often because I'm Douglas Freeman grad. All right. First of all, congratulations. It took to the 10th game in the 4th quarter and overtime, but you got it done. Talk about last Friday night. That had to be a special night for your group.
I think the entire game was an epitome of our entire season. Struggling in the beginning, trying to get it right, and then having the ability to keep weathering the storm, keep fighting, next play mentality, and then to be able to make a play, to get a little of a spark,
Right.
then to have things turn around, defense playing really well throughout the rest of the whole season, but especially in the second half, and then giving us a chance to, run something that we haven't run all year and a trick play that ended up working, and then to turn around and the football god, so to speak, with the safety to kind of tie it. And then when we went into halftime or went into the overtime, we really thought we're going to win this game just because we got momentum, but we also just have this fight right now.
You guys were 15-0 going into the 4th quarter, correct? Hank Beach, I want you to talk about this. This is an offensive lineman, all-metro offensive lineman over at Freeman, going to the Naval Academy. Great kid. But talk about how that play, how he scored the touchdown for you guys, and just what he's done and what he's been for the program for the last 4 years.
I think anybody that has known Hank Beach probably knows that his character and who he is what every coach would want in an offensive lineman. He's just a gritty, great kid, loves football, loves his teammates, just will do anything for him. He's the first to show up, last to leave,
Right.
in most everything. And for him to score that touchdown at the end, that was something that we had practiced, and it was quite honestly more something from me saying, kind of like, I want you to have some thing for you that is going to be big, that, to score a touchdown. Goes back to his days when he was playing youth football, and, he was like a running back, got to carry the ball. So I wanted him to finish off with something strong. And, again, football gods that gave it to a point where he ended up scoring the touchdown to extend the season. And for his mom and dad, who weren't able to be there because they had another huge event that was going on.
Oh, really?
That
Wow.
it was all, FaceTime video call, and got to see it. And kind of his mom wasn't going to be able to see his last game. And so we're like, nope, that's not going to happen. We're going to keep playing.
Well, she's got a 2.5-hour trip west, just like the rest of you guys. You guys are going to William Flint Friday night. What do you know about the Colonels? I know they were really good last year. I think they're pretty good again.
Yeah, exceptionally, a really good well-coached team. And, you know, they've got a tremendous amount of athletes. We are hoping that because we face off against Hermitages and TJs that have tremendous athletes and tremendous coaching staffs, that we are going to be prepared to go play a team like William Fleming.
Right.
And, you know, we're going to take the momentum we have, and, you know, we fought hard to get where we are, and we're going to hopefully keep this train rolling.
Excellent. We've won five straight, or going into, I believe that's right. You won 5 straight coming into last Friday night. So,
Yeah, we were 1-3 going into our bye and have gone 5-1 since then. And you know, kudos to the coaching staff for really digging in, and for our players to not give up and want to finish out the season straight.
we're looking forward to you to making 6 straight. Good luck. The head coach of the Douglas Freeman Mavericks, Kevin Simon. Thank you, Coach. All right. Again, staying in Region 5C, the Highland Springs Springers, they take on Glen Allen this Friday night. And Keelan May, here, come on up, Coach. The head coach, excuse me, not the head coach, the assistant coach of the Freeman Springers, Highland Springs Springers, Keelan Mayo. Well, first of all, Coach Mayo, thanks for joining us tonight. 7-3 on the regular season. Give us a quick, just kind of rehash the season. You've had a great season. I know you played some really tough opponents, and talk about the season to date.
So the main thing for us is schedule heavy, schedule
Right.
tough, and it prepares for the second season. So that's the one thing we always preach and coach to our guys. The first 10 games is practice. The real season starts this week, and we'll be ready to go.
Yeah, I know Coach Johnson says 10 to play 5, right? 10 to play 5. I mean, you guys have really challenged yourself. You know, that tough team out of Charlotte, the best teams, that's one of the best teams in this whole on it. So you guys really scheduled big time on that one. Talk about a couple of your offensive players, especially Antone Richardson and Eric Bird.
I got you. So Buddy Richardson is a kid that's been around just as long as I've been. I've been at Highland Springs this year 10 years, and he was one of the little guys always running around playing in the back of the end zone during our games when we're scoring touchdowns. So he's a kid that's always been around, understands the culture, that will give his all, and he was the one that was willing to sacrifice when we were kind of looking around trying to figure out who was going to be the quarterback.
Mhm.
He said, "I got it." So when he's the type of kid that wants to put the team on his back and would do any and everything for us. So not only him on the offensive side, he also has 7 interceptions and along with 2 pick sixes. So he's a kid that does not want to come off the field and has been begging me to put him as a returner on special teams as well. So because he is a quarterback, I try to keep him off for special teams.
There you go. I was going to ask you on the defensive side too, but I know Jalen Padmore is not only a great DB for you, but also a good receiver. Talk about him.
Absolutely. Padmore is very explosive. So he just wants to get his hands on the ball in all 3 phases. So I also trust him heavily on special teams as well. So he's just very electric and try to get the ball into his hands and just let him go.
Talk about that Phoebus game, because, you know, that was a game that, you know, at the beginning of the season, you look at it and you guys, you know, you've got Dinwiddie, tough loss there. You go down to Charlotte, tough loss. Was it the Phoebus game that maybe flipped the switch for you guys? I mean, talk about that game. That was a special win.
Absolutely. You know, Phoebus is one of the perennial state powers. So just getting our get back at them was actually a good feeling, but it's just good just to kind of, you know, beat them up a little bit.
Right.
So that was just something just to kind of, again, try to enforce our will and power on them.
Well, you guys are the 2 seed. You take on the number 7 seed, Glen Allen. Obviously, you're very familiar with the Jaguars. Talk about the challenges that the Jags present to you guys Friday night.
So living in the Glen Allen community, I can actually walk to the high school. So I've been able to watch them at least 2 or 3 games live this year, taking my daughter to see some of her friends when we were on a bye. So they're very high energy, very electric, and they got some really great skill players and some, you know, pretty aggressive linemen as well. So they're a team that you can't sleep on. Just always got to be prepared for any and everything.
Great. Well, thank you so much again. Assistant Coach Keelan Mayo, Highland Springs Springers, give it up for him. Thank you, Coach. Now we're going to go to Region 4B, and that is a loaded region as well. head coach is Billy Mills, but here tonight, the director of football operations for Dinwiddie, Derek Burke. Derek, come on up. Well, obviously, 10-0. Can't do much better than that. Talk opening statement on the undefeated regular season so far. I know you want to go a lot further, but talk about the 10-0 regular season.
Yes, sir. I just want to give honor and glory to Christ to start. Without
Thank
him,
you.
we don't have anything. And just thank you all for doing this. I mean, it's awesome. We get a chance to celebrate these young men, you know, in a time when we don't have enough positivity sometimes. Get a chance to honor them. It's great. So we
Great.
had a great season. And, you know, like Coach said, we're looking forward to, you know, one game at a time.
Yeah, I was going to say last year you 9-1, but this year one better, 10-0. Life after Harry Dalton, how has that been? I know we're going to talk about Zion in a minute, but how has life after Harry Dalton been for you? Pretty good, I guess. You're undefeated.
Well, we're super proud of Harry. He's doing big things out there at SC and
right.
getting to play some, and the lessons that he learned in Dinwiddie continue to flourish for him out there. But you know, we knew we'd be all right.
Yeah.
But it takes work. No matter what you got or who you are, it's work every day. And this group of young men we have is special. This group of coaches is special. We've worked every day since last December.
Well, obviously, Zion Boyso stepped in this year for you. Talk about his development and taking over at the quarterback spot and what he's meant to the Dinwiddie Generals.
He is just a wonderful young man, very mature, very athletic. He's a leader. He's a coach's son, and he just understands the game. He gets it. He's a very special person and football player.
On the defensive side, Petaway is one that I want to talk about, but give me a couple other guys that have stepped up to get you guys undefeated.
Man, how
after
much
10.
time you got? You know, just that whole linebacker crew.
Yeah.
Davion Wilson, also a senior. Gabe Randall, a junior. The D-line, want to shout out to them. Senior Sean Hill, 44, makes things happen. You know, you need double him, triple him sometimes. Our defensive end, 28, Jordan Williams. Our secondary, you know, very opportunistic after the ball. Nyan Mason, J.C. McDowell, Tamari Buford, just very heads up, and lots of other young men that I'm leaving out as well.
That's okay. You covered a bunch of them. You guys are the 1 seed. You get the 8 seed. The 8 seed's a really good 8 seed. This region is loaded, as you well know.
Yes, sir.
Talk about the Hanover Hawks. You know, the challenges that Coach Rogers and the Hanover Hawks present to you guys Friday night.
Absolutely. That is a tremendously well-coached team, very sound, makes it difficult to run scout team on both sides of the ball, and they're going to be ready, and they're a very good team, and we will be ready as well.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, listen, Derek, thank you for being here. Give it up for the Director of Football Operations for the Dinwiddie Generals, Derek Burke. Thank you. Thank you, Coach. Thank you. All right, and that region's loaded. Hanover plays Dinwiddie Friday night. Cortland plays Verina Friday night. Huguenot is at home against Spotsylvania, and the Caroline goes to Louisa. So, I mean, again, that one is loaded. All right, let's go to how about Region 2A, and I believe Scott Moore's here. Coach, come on up. The head coach of the King William Cavaliers, Scott Moore. 7-3 on the regular season. Give me a quick opening statement about your season to date, and I know you're proud of your Cavaliers.
Very proud. We have a very, very young team. We've got, I'm thinking about how many seniors we have on offense. We've got 4 seniors. On defense, it's 2. And, you know, just a very, very young team. They had to grow up fast.
Right.
We won our first 2 games. We went through a stretch of where we played Essex, which is still undefeated in Division I.
Right.
We played Caroline, and they're 8-2, and then we played Armstrong. So we went through those. We took
another undefeated team.
We took 3 losses to teams that have an overall record of 28-2. But then after those games, we got on a roll. We won the rest of our games. Our kids found a way to get better every game, every opportunity they touched the field, they found a way to grow and get better and learn from that game and apply it in the next game and move on and just get better and better every week. Every time we play, there's just a different way that they improve.
Talk about the playoff tradition and the community up at King William. I mean, it's a special thing. I know last year you guys started out, 0-6, I think it was.
Right.
And then you ripped off, 5 in a row, 4 in a row, and to get to the playoffs. And then you made that nice run as well.
Oh, we made a nice run. We wound up in the region championship.
Right.
We did lose to Pocosin.
Another pretty good team.
But yeah, another pretty good team. And I'll just say, Region A, we now have 17 teams. Armstrong and TJ have moved down to our region. We have, like I said, we have 17 teams. I think Region B, 2B has 11. So, when you're thinking about 8 out of 17, the challenge alone just by the numbers is there. But then you think about the quality of teams that we have in our region. And, I'm really, really proud that we're 7-3 and we're in the playoffs, regardless of what seed we have. Our young guys have found a way to get it done and just make it there.
Well, I had a chance to meet DeMont Claiborne this summer down in Charlotte at the ACC thing. You've got a pretty special one right now playing for you, Kayshawn Hill. Talk about, I know he was hurt earlier. I believe he was hurt when we had you on the radio a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
He was banged up, but now he's healthy and he's ripping out with 295 yards against Halifax and then 400 yards the next week and 7 touchdowns.
17
and 7 touchdowns.
Against Mecklenburg.
That's pretty good, yeah.
He's just an outstanding kid, outstanding athlete. And when I say he's an outstanding person too, just a great guy to be around. He like I said, or like you said, he got injured in our first game. He broke his hand. So I hear about it over the weekend that I knew his hand was hurt, but didn't know how serious it was. He said, "Hey, I'm going to be in a cast next week. We're going to wrap. The doctor says I can wrap it up and play." Well, he comes out after the trainer finished with him, and he had this thing on his hand that looked like a boxing glove. And I'm like, well, I know he can't play quarterback, so we moved him over to running back, which is kind of a natural position for him. He is our main runner, even at the quarterback position. He can throw the ball too, but as long as he's picking up yards, running, we kind of tend to stick with that. But anyway, he had this big club on his hand. Goes out. We play during the 3 games that 3-game stretch. I don't know that would have changed the outcome, but it certainly would have made some of those games a little closer. Right. But once he came back, his hand was healthy. He runs and he's kind of fearless and he'll drag the pile. It's got more power than you think. And he, everybody looks at him in the open field and they're like, hey, the kid can move, but no, he's pretty strong too. So.
Yeah. That's 417 yards, 7 touchdowns. That's a season for a lot of people.
Yeah. So. He's got 1,400, for the season. Yeah.
So you guys are the 5 seed, and you're taking on the number 4 seed, Thomas Jefferson Vikings. Talk about obviously the challenges that Coach Harris's team gives you Friday night.
They're well coached. They have a football tradition under Coach Harris there as well. They're in the playoffs. They were in the playoffs in 3A. In Division III last year. They were 12-1, so they had a really good season last year. They've come down and they're not, they don't have the record they had, but they're battle tested.
Right.
They played the big boys in the Richmond area. And so, and they hung with them. So, they're a battle tested team that has been in some tough games and they have some speed. So that's one of the things that, kind of helped us in some of those other games when we went down we went down to Halifax and Mecklenburg. Our speed was our advantage. TJ is going to match us a little bit better with speed.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that is one of the challenges we have there.
Well, Friday night, Hovey Field, 7:00. You guys at TJ. Again, thank Coach Scott Moore, head coach of the King William Cavaliers. Thanks so much for being here tonight.
All right. Well, thank you.
Appreciate it. Is Coach Harris here? Coach Harris, come on up. The head coach of the TJ Vikings, Eric Harris. Come on up, Coach. How you doing? I'm good. Good. I think this is the only one that we've got both coaches that are going together Friday night. So let's talk about your season. 6-4, you're the 4 seed in Region 2A. I mean, your losses: Armstrong, Hermitage, Freeman, and Heritage. Excuse me, Heritage out in Lynchburg. Another really good team out there. Talk about your season to date, and I'm sure you're proud of your Vikings.
Extremely proud. The goal going into this year was to make sure that we would be more battle tested.
Right.
Previous 2 seasons, we had undefeated seasons going into the playoffs, and we got to the regional championship last year against a well-coached kettle run team.
Yep.
And so during the offseason, my goal was to make sure we had some tough teams. I mean, Heritage is the #1 team in the state 3A. They
Right.
just knocked off the state champion. They're good. They have a great shot to win the state championship.
Yeah, they do.
So we lost to Freeman. We lost to Hermitage, and we lost to Armstrong with a grand total of 10 points.
Right.
With those 3 teams. So we lost by 10 points to those 3 teams, and we were in the Heritage game into the 3rd quarter. So after Friday night, though, I felt really, really good. I mean, our defense played phenomenal. Hermitage vaunted offense didn't score a touchdown
Right.
offensively.
Those
Were special team points. We were moving the ball. A couple of things we got to clean up, but I feel great. I feel a whole lot better, believe it or not, at 6-4 going in than I did at 10-0.
I want to ask you about the Heritage game because, obviously, a team from Richmond doesn't necessarily always go out to Lynchburg and play. But Coach Bradley and that crew, I mean, they've been winning for a long time. How did you are you friends with Coach Bradley? Or how did that game come together? I'm always interested in how a team from the Richmond area schedules, a couple hours away like that.
Coach Bradley reached out to me.
Okay.
He felt the same thing. He wanted to get his guys in. Actually, the only thing the debate was who was going to come to who first.
Got it. He's got a
but-
return trip here, maybe?
Yeah, he's coming back.
All right,
It was a
awesome.
2-year deal.
Good
But
deal.
he'll be down here next year. But he reached out to me, and same thing with the Hopewell coach. And I wanted to get some Hall of Fame coaches on my schedule as well.
Mhm.
I just got to be honest with you; those guys have been phenomenal. I mean, after the games, I mean, as far as keeping in contact, I mean, knowing that, I mean, I'm a longtime coach, but a young head coach,
Right.
and just giving me tips or whatever. So those guys have been phenomenal.
On the offensive side, I think you've got 3 guys that have got 360 yards or more rushing. Talk about that rushing offense that you got.
It's a 3-headed monster
Yeah.
with Deron Ferguson. Then we have Reginald Weston, who actually has been down the last 2 games. He hasn't been playing, I think, since the Freeman game. He had a bad hamstring pull, but he's a kid who will several offers: Syracuse, Norfolk State, and JMU as well. So, and our quarterback has been running the ball really well too, Kwame Waters. So
yeah.
the last couple of games, these past 2 games, I know we have over 250 yards combined rushing between the 2 with RJ out, but with RJ in, it's even more. It's about finding your identity, and I think later in the season, I think early in the season as a coach, I got a 4-star.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Okay.
I guess keep
So,
going.
early in this, as everyone knows, we got a 4-star going to Syracuse, a 3-star who's committed, decommitted now from ODU. He has picked up a Virginia Tech and probably a Maryland offer coming soon. Everyone expected us to be bombs over Baghdad, but, realizing what it is that we do well, those guys are still threats, but just pounding the ball. Offensive line has gotten better as well.
Well, we just heard from Coach Moore. Talk about the challenges at King William to you Friday night.
The young man he was just talking about, his godmother is a counselor at the school. So me and her were talking about him today. And I was asking her, could she, go ahead and take him to Disneyland or something this weekend? But that kid is phenomenal, man. That kid can really play. Like Coach said, they're a young team. They play hard from what I've seen. I did get a chance to sneak out and see them in person this year. So I know the size and everything that they're working with. So it's going to be a great challenge. It's a great, well-coached team. I have great respect for Coach. And so just looking forward to it.
Well, again, looking forward to a great game Friday night. Hovey Field, 7:00 kick, right?
Yes, sir.
Head coach of the Thomas Jefferson Vikings, Eric Harris.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Right. How about we got Coach Mickens still here, right? Come on up, Coach. The head coach of Trinity Episcopal, Sam Mickens. How you doing?
Good.
Good. Good. Thank you for first of all, congratulations on a great season, 9-1. Talk about the season to date. We'll get ready to talk about this state championship game in a minute, but talk about your season to date and everything's going on with Trinity.
It's been a great season. just kind of carrying on the tradition of what we've done the last 5 or 6 years. So just I don't know, tough schedule, a lot of ups and downs, and more ups and downs this year. And
Yeah.
so here we are.
Well, 9-1, just one down so far. Obviously, you guys are taking on Benedictine, and that game is this Saturday, 12 o'clock, high noon at your place, right? You beat them a couple weeks ago. Talk about how you're going to prepare a team that you beat Benedictine. That's a great program over there. You're very well familiar with them. How's the practices going to go this week? How is it? How do you motivate a team? I mean, it's a state championship, I realize, but you just beat them 2 weeks ago. What are you doing differently, or do you do anything differently?
No, nothing different. I mean, they don't like us, we don't like them.
Right.
That's not it's not a shocker. So if you can't get up for that game, then it's 4 quarters for a state championship.
Right.
And like I said, I don't know. Greg and I are friends, but the rest of them, I don't think we get along outside of that.
Well, talk about on the offensive side. Give me a couple of guys that have really stood out for you this year. I know you got some D1 talent over there. Talk about your offensive. Talk about the O.
Offensive line actually has really been great this year. So, Miles Love, who's committed to Howard, but had a ton of other offers going for him, and he found his spot there. Is anchors the offensive line. You got Davion Brown,
Right.
Who's committed to Penn State, has since decommitted, but he's been great. Carson Parks is over 1,100 yards rushing for us, and then we've got another back, C.J. Gray, who's got close to 500 or 600 yards rushing as well. So it's been really nice. Deke Scogan, our quarterback, has done a really good job, really just, getting the ball, spreading the ball around, and just kind of managing and winning games, really, to be honest with you. So, there's no shame in being a 9-1, junior starter on this team.
Not at all. On the defensive side, the same question.
Yeah. So Mason Love, Miles' twin brother, who's going to Howard as well. He anchors the defense at middle linebacker. Trey Cherry is another one that's done really well. Khalid Rayner, obviously Wally Rayner,
Oh, yep.
youngest son, is a excellent player. Davion Brown plays safety as well. So just a lot of key players there that have done well for us. So.
Well, obviously, the cadets, they know you, but what are the challenges that Benedictine brings to the field Saturday at high noon?
Yeah, they're well coached. They're big. They're aggressive. They're well coached. I mean, that's the key. They're gonna pound the ball. They're gonna continue doing what you're doing. If you give them one opportunity, they'll take advantage of it. They're truly one of the best opportunistic teams that I've seen.
Right.
Block, punt, anything, doesn't matter. You get behind the sticks. When they get rolling, they're really good at it. They're great at adjustments. Kurt's got a great coaching staff over there as well. So it's a challenge. It's a fun challenge. I like challenges.
Yeah.
So I'm up for that.
Well, we're excited. We're excited to have it right here in the 804 at your place again, high noon Saturday afternoon. The head coach of the Trinity Episcopal, Sam Mickens. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Is that it? Do we have anybody else? All right. I believe that's it. Just a quick wrap up. We didn't in Region 3B, Goochland made the playoffs. They're taking on Culpeper. That's Chase Phillips, the first-year coach over for the Bulldogs. We talked about Hanover Dinwiddie, Cortland Verona, Spotsylvania Huguenot, and Caroline Louisa. That's Region 4B. We talked about Region 5C and 6A, and then again the VISSA state championship Saturday at high noon, Benedictine Trinity. So again, I appreciate it. I hope I didn't go too long, but I really appreciate you guys' time, and thanks so much for having me.